Hello again, everyone. This morning, I've been embarking on a sort of a messy mixed media project. Took me ages, got in a real pickle, got very messy, got a bit of black ink on my top, had to go and try and get that out, one thing and another. So I just thought to get a video up onto YouTube today, I would just have a little oasis of calm and make a white on white card. That's my idea. People often ask me what size cards I make. This one is usually the smallest rectangle one that I make, which is half a sheet of A4. And sometimes I cut the sheet of A4 across the middle, across the width. Sometimes I cut it down the length. This is my sheet of A4, and you can see that this one has been cut across the middle. Okay, cut it in the middle in half, and then just score it in half and fold. Now, I have seen a crafter, with tips to save time and all this kind of stuff, suggesting that if you're going to make two cards, I could fit two cards out of this sheet of A4, whichever way I cut it. If I cut it lengthways, I've got a tent folded one this side and a tent folded one that side. But this crafter suggested that you fold your card first and then just cut it, and you only have to fold once and you cut once. However, if you're trying to cut a folded piece of card, you cannot get as accurate a cut as if you are cutting a flat piece of card. Just saying. So I suppose you could fold it and then score it rather, open it out and then cut. I would advocate you did that rather than trying to cut a folded piece of card. There's nothing worse to me than seeing a card that you've made yourself and the corners don't match. The way I do it is this. I'll show you right now. I'm using this trimmer because my guillotine that you can see that I use on this desk is not long enough to cut the length of a piece of A4. I cut that on the one that's on my cutting desk. So I'm just going to cut this down the middle, so down to 10.5. If you do use one of these trimmers, make sure that the blade gets turned around from time to time. I'll just take this out. But this little blade is two-sided. I nearly always push away from me to do any cutting with the card firmly against that edge so that it is absolutely at right angles. So if you're always cutting in the same direction, make sure that you turn it round, pop it back in, so that you're getting both sides of the blade with equal wear. Okay. Now, when it comes to scoring, I've got my score lines marked again with a Sharpie so that it's easy for me to spot. This is the one. Score. Now, this is the important bit. When you fold, just get those corners over each other. A good way is to pop it into the corner of your scoring board, because no matter how carefully you think you've cut it, how carefully you think you have creased it, unless you put those two corners on top of each other, you won't get a beautifully, lined up, finished card blank. So there's my two shapes that I use. I'm going around the houses a bit, aren't I, really? And when I do that, I've cut this one from this piece. I have two pieces here, if I wanted to, that could make die cuts and card panels. So that's, in fact, what I do. I'm going to use this one today. I have cut a panel using this little die from Craft Addictions, which is just slightly smaller than that card front. You see? Fits beautifully. So that's what I've cut that panel with. Now, all I plan on doing today is using another Craft Addictions die. This is one of the latest release of slatted diamonds. Various sizes. You can have the slats going horizontally from a diamond oriented in this way, or it can go that way, vertically. So it's up to you. I always prefer horizontal lines. Don't know what it is. There's something about vertical lines I can't cope with, so I don't bother. So what I'm going to do is not use the additional ones. I'm going to use simply the slats and cut a section from this panel. I have cut out a set of flowers. It's 3 flowers, and I'm just going to put 3 flowers somewhere near this slatted aperture. So let me just do this. I'm going to put a piece of tape on it just to hold it. Okay. So here's my slatted aperture. Now my idea is simply to have 3 blooms. I'll put this on this piece of card because it will stay flat for the minute. 3 blooms on here. Not quite sure where or how. I've got 3 stems, 3 blooms, and I will probably put a sentiment. Now these they go together in pieces. There's these 2, which are 2 different sizes, which go with these 2, which are 2 different sizes. And then each of them has got like a front layer. Now, this is the one that matches with that one, like that. And these are 2 different sizes. Whoops. So the larger one goes with the larger of the 2 blooms here. So this one will go, can't pick it up. Where's my picker-upper? Here it is. That one will go on there. Like, it's like the petal that's at the front coming towards you, if you know what I mean. And this one goes at the front of that one. And then we've got 3 little middles to go in the middle. Now, if this is going to be white on white, what's going to make it special? What's going to make it stand out? If you've done colouring and shading and all that kind of stuff, it might make it look really nice. So what makes it stand out for me is texture, dimension, and finish. So we've got some texture on here because there are some etched lines. However, we can add to that by doing a bit of shaping. So I've got my foam mat. I'm going to put them down, upside down, onto my foam mat so that I can use my embossing tool just to push a little bit of shape into these die cuts. Okay. Yes, one of the things I was doing this morning, I got some ink on my top. So I tried to use some bleach, and the bleach affected my wrist. It was all really itching and sore. I had to make sure, I don't think I'd rinsed, I must have got bleach on there. Didn't rinse it off. Oh, never mind, we're sorting now. So let me give some shape to these petals. Okay, so all I've done with each of these sets of petals is to rub it round with one of these embossing tools. This mat came with this and with one other. I think it had a quilling tool with it, which is gone walkabout. I don't know what happened to it. So it's fairly resilient foam, and it's really useful for shaping flowers like this. So the next thing I want to do is to stick the pieces of these flowers together. Get a drop of glue and we'll put them together. Okay. I may well be using some little pieces of foam tape so that I can make sure that the shaping that I've put in them remains, and when they go in the envelope it doesn't just completely get flattened. So put a bit of glue on this. This fits quite nicely, just there, like that. Okay, and then one of these will fit just, I can tuck it into the middle. I have some silicone adhesive here for 3D, decoupage, stained glass and mosaics, it says. I'm not sure of the best way of going about this, to be perfectly honest. There it goes. And now this piece at the bottom, the last petal. Now I'll put a little bit of foam tape behind them just to make sure that their shape is not compromised. Let's keep the shape in there. Now what I want to do, I want to give them a little bit of twinkle. So I will just put some glaze on these as well. I don't know which one fits best with which. That looks all right, doesn't it? I may just pop these in afterwards, actually. Which way up? Let's just see. I think what I'm going to do is what I did the other day and actually put the stem onto the flower, because trying to, you know, organise where they're going to be when they're separate is really quite tricky. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on. Probably could have put it underneath the foam tape, couldn't I? Never mind. I'm going to put this piece onto foam tape. Okay. If you spend a long time fiddling around trying to get the arrangement, you know, that pleases you, and then you come across one that you like, just take a picture of it. If you've got a phone or whatever, just take a picture, and so you can refer back to it. And you know, very often I think I can remember, and I go back and I just can't remember exactly where things were. So I'm going to look now for a sentiment, because the final arrangement of where these flowers are may well depend on what else is going on the card with it. So I'm just going to go and have a quick look, see what I can find as far as a sentiment is concerned.